Hi friends and welcome back to my channel. So today I bring you the Angular async form validation tutorial wherein we will be checking how to validate our email address with our backend database and give the user a visual feedback whether it's available or not. So for example, if I type in any email address that's not available, so it checks the availability from the database and it says email already in use. Okay. Similarly, if I type any email which is valid, performs a validation and gives you a positive feedback. Okay. So let's quickly jump into the code and do it. So what I have done, I have created a new empty project and opened it with my favorite IDE, WebStorm. You can use any IDE of your choice. And also I've installed the bootstrap package using npm and imported it in my style.scss. Okay, as you can see here. So let me just quickly open the terminal and run the development server. Okay, so give it a few seconds to compile, and in the meantime let's jump to the HTML and create our markup. So I'm going to use a container div. Inside that I'm going to use a row, then call md8. Oops, sorry. So this is our blank page as of now. Okay, let's call md8, and inside that we need a h2 tag, right, or h1, and I'll say async form validation. Okay, put hr, and then I need the form. Okay, inside this form I'll create a form group like this, with a label for email that will say email here, and an input tag. Text class will be form control and ID will be email. Okay, and also I need a couple of buttons, btn success and submit form. This will be of type submit, and another form to reset the field. Okay, so reset. This will be for btn danger. So all these classes that I'm using here are included with bootstrap. Okay, so we save the changes, go back to the browser, refresh it, nothing happens, right? Okay, let me check. Okay, so what has happened? We just go back, open the console, says template parse error, no provider for control container basic form validation. All right, so I guess nope. Doesn't like that. Okay, template parse errors, no provider for control container. Something's wrong here. Oh, let me remove it. Okay, now let's do it again. It's working so far. Call md8 h1 async form validation. Okay, cool. hr, then form tag. We remove it, need. So div form group label email input text here, form control come on, an ID of email, save. No validate. Action to nowhere. This bit strange. Okay, let me just click complete the form here. I'll import the reactive forms module and bind it to the user form, then it hopefully it should work. So label email, email, input text, form control, ID, email, okay, button, btn success, submit, and the type is submit, copy the button, reset, type is button, okay, and this will be of type danger, and I'll bind the click event to the reset function, which is not there, created it. So you have to go here and create a user form variable that will be of time form group. Okay, so because we are using reactive forms approach here, that's a code driven approach, so we have to import that first here in the module. Okay, so I've already imported the HTTP module and the reactive forms module, and once you create this form instance, you have to go to the template and bind it to the form group directive, okay, with the user form. So now if I save, go back, okay, this is a bit strange. Okay, so this error is a little bit strange. Okay, I will have to bind the control. Okay, so let's jump back here. So now at least we can see the form here. Okay, jump back. I'll use the constructor to inject HTTP client as HTTP client, and import use import statement. Private form builder. This is a wrapper that will help us create the form quickly. Okay. And inside the constructor, I'll initialize my form to form builder.group, and this takes an argument. So in a key value pair, so this will be my control. So I will have only one control, that is email, and the initial value will be empty. Okay, and I'll use validators to make it required. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to use any async validators here because that will be created by me separately. The reset method, I'll reset the form like this. Okay, so it should work and errors are gone, but it was waiting for me to create that or initialize the user form. And the only thing we need here is to bind the form control name with email. So this is the email which is defined here, right? Also, I'm going to create a method to reference this attribute or control from the code. So return this .userForm.get email as form control. Right, now I can use it anywhere I want. Alright, so with this, if we go back, type anything, reset works, and on submit I am not using anything. So go back here, and in the form I'll use ng submit send method. Okay, so send will be this console log this dot user form dot value. Okay, go back, test at test.com, submit. Great. Alright, so if you go here, let me just delete everything. I'm just checking if this works. So I'll create few styles, okay, for different states. So first is the ng valid state, ng valid. So all these form statuses are injected by Angular as per the actual status of the form. So I'm gonna give it a green color if the form is valid, and border white 5 pixel solid green. So this is cascading style sheet, so it will overwrite the right border that is defined here. Okay, and also I need a box shadow of 0 0 0 0.2 rem for the blur, and the RGBA color will be 0, 137 for, and 10 and 0.25 in the alpha. So it should look like something like this. Okay, so it'll not show you straight away. Okay, and next I will have an ng invalid with ng touched. Okay, so if my form is invalid and touched, I want it to appear red. All right, so go here, change it to red, dark red, and for the color use 255 comma 43 comma 27. All right, and input dot pending, I'll use 1 pixel solid, or let's say same thing, but this will be ff9415, orange color. Use the same thing here with the hash symbol, and for the shadow it will be 255 127 2. That's it. Line number 9. What happened? Oh, okay, perfect. Now let's come back to the logic here. So inside this class I'm going to create a function to check our email. Okay, my backend is running on Angular, I'm sorry, on Node. So I'll send a query to the Node backend and check for the email availability. So for that I'll use this email form control reference that I just made here and look for the value changes, which returns me an observable. So I want to pipe through it to perform some operations. First will be debounce time, let's say 500 milliseconds. So this will wait for 500 milliseconds before you complete typing, after you complete typing. Okay, and then I'll use the tap operator to check something. So I'll get a email value from the top, which I'm going to check here. Email is not equals to null or empty, and there are no errors. Okay, so that, or let's say if this dot email dot invalid, it's not invalid, right? So if that's the case, what we want to do, we want to mark the email field as pending. Okay, else what I want to do, we want to set an error here, and we want to set the invalid error as true. Okay, we will set the email form as invalid here. Okay, so once it is done, we will get the email back again here down the pipeline. We'll subscribe to it, we'll get an email value. Okay, anyways. So we'll use HTTP client to send a request to our HTTP backend or node backend running on port 4000. So the endpoint that I have set is users check email, takes a query string. Okay, I'm using the ES6 syntax with the backticks. I'll subscribe to this because this returns an observable again, and the backend, I know it will send me an array of users, so I can check if users.length is greater than 0. That means I have a user with that email address, right? So what I will do, I will simply set an error. Okay, I'll remove the pending marker, and to do that I have to use the only self operator here and set this to false, not true, false. Okay, and I'm gonna set the errors. I'll choose a name that says not unique. Okay, give it true. Else, if the user is not found, I'll still want to remove the pending marker and remove the error, set it to null. Okay, that should do it. And I have to call this function. As you can see, it's grayed out. I'm not calling it. I'll call it here, check email. Okay, and now in the template I need some validation diffs. All right, so I'll use the alert classes, alert danger, feed and show. Inside this I'll use a small tag. The first one will be email field is required. Okay, but I only want to show this when the email is touched and email state is invalid and email dot errors are not there for the unique. So we are sending this a not unique email error, right? So if you click here and go back, says email field is required, and you see this rent feedback. Perfect. And let's create similar devs here. Okay, it will be only this. So email already exists, and I need alert warning here for the pending state. So I'm going to remove this and use pending. So I'll say checking availability dot. Save it, go back to the browser, refresh it. Oh, okay, so I have to remove this, and for that I have to use an email dot touched. Okay, availability, it's green, and for existing email address, what happened? Oh, it should be when the errors are there. Now also let me quickly go here and give some margins, right? Margin right 2, and also I'm gonna bind this to the disable property to user form dot invalid or user form dot pending. Okay, save it. So you see initially the submit button is disabled, and as soon as you type it, Okay, so it's not checking the pattern whether it's a valid email or not. So we can do that quickly in the HTML by changing the type to email. Okay, still not working. If you submit, so let's quickly take care of that in the validator section here. I'm gonna convert this to an array. Inside this array I'm gonna use another one, that is validators.pattern, and I'm gonna choose a pattern which I already have here in my store or in my notes. So this checks for any valid email address. Okay, you can choose any pattern from the internet. You will find a lot of patterns available, but now after doing this, if I type anything random here, so it makes the form invalid. Oops. Give it a sec. Text. Okay, so say a@a.com, checks, and it's fine. Test@test.com, checks, boom, you get an error. Okay, but you see this becomes red when we click outside. Okay, let me just show you again. It's already done, I believe, once. So if I remove and do again, checks. Okay, you can see the box shadow is still blue from Bootstrap, and you click outside, it becomes red. We don't want that. We want it to get red or become red as soon as there is an error. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new class for myself. That's a custom class, and it will be not valid or anything you want, and I want to use the same red color. You can do it like this, or you can chain it here like that. Okay, now what you have to do, I have to write a condition in the template, the field to assign a class. So I'll use class dot not valid, and this will be not valid when we have errors, right? So email dot errors dot not unique. Test@test.com, checks, boom. Now we have the red error message, and you cannot submit. So if you change it to test1, it'll again check, and we are good to go. Okay, I hope you liked it. It became a little lengthy to implement all the functionality, but I hope you will learn something out of this. And we are not using the async validators, which you can assign here in the email form control. You can put your validators just next here, an array of async validators, like here, async validators here. But we have created our own custom function so that we can use this debounce time functionality, which will not be able which you will not be able to use if you use a async validator here. Okay, all right, so with this I'm gonna end this video, and please share your comments, your thoughts, if you have any suggestions in the comment section below, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.